Starting in Zurich, I cycled to Paris, Brussels, Luxembourg and back home to Switzerland. On this tour I visited 5 European countries. I went to many famous places in the cities and of course I spent most of the time cycling through the countryside. The landscapes were absolutely breathtaking. I was very lucky to see many amazing sunsets and I made sure to eat some proper food every once in a while. One of the highlights was meeting new people. Overall, it was an amazing trip, but unfortunately, not everything went smoothly.
This night was horrible. I had to puke at about 11 p.m.
I'm so pissed off right now. I can't believe that this just happened.
I'm here in Luxembourg, 450 kilometers until Zurich. Let's do it.
In the last 3 episodes, I cycled from Zurich to Luxembourg. In this last episode of the series, I was heading back to Zurich. So if you haven't watched the other episodes, I can highly recommend to watch them first. When I left Luxembourg City, it was already beginning of the afternoon. Unfortunately, I had a little bit a headache. For the trip, I had bought a new phone case from Quadlock. It was really nice to be able to mount the phone directly to the stem. I was also glad that I had bought click pedals. I could really feel the difference regarding efficiency. On the other side of the bridge, Germany awaited me. Behind me was the village Schengen, which lies at the border of Luxembourg, Germany and France. Despite its size, Schengen made history in 1985 when European countries signed the Schengen Agreement. The agreement is about a landmark decision to remove internal border checks across much of Europe. What started with just 5 countries has grown into a key symbol of European unity and free movement. Today, over 400 million people can travel across most of Europe without a passport, thanks to what began in this quiet riverside town. Schengen remains a peaceful place, but its name has become one of the most recognized across the continent.
So, 87 kilometers, 6 hours. Found another beautiful spot to spend the night. I actually didn't expect to do that much distance today. Unfortunately, my headache is not gone. Now it's time to eat dinner.
As always, the first thing I did was to dry my tent. For dinner I ate some bread with ham, followed by tortelloni. I started with cooking water. It's always important to put the lid on the pot. Then I added some stock to have more flavor. I stirred a little to make sure that it dissolved quickly. Then it was already time to add the tortelloni. After waiting for a few minutes, they were ready to eat. After a long day of cycling, it's always really nice to eat a warm meal. I definitely wouldn't like to miss out on my gas stove. Once again, there was a really amazing sunset, one of the most beautiful of this trip so far.
Good morning. I got really used to sleeping in the tent in the meantime, and I'm also really looking forward to another beautiful day today.
I was really lucky with the weather again. I started with disassembling my tent. For breakfast, I ate an apple to get some vitamins, followed by a croissant au chocolat for the calories. It was always a really nice feeling when everything was packed up and I could finally start cycling.
Daylight goodbyes, cheek to cheek. Pretty people sat out in the street.
As I was in Germany on a Sunday, all the grocery stores were closed. In France, some shops are also open on Sundays, but in Germany only petrol stations remain open. Luckily, I had bought enough food the day before, it was already time to eat a few snacks. I ate nuts with wine berries, some duck, some rice cake and bread with chocolate. Additionally, I drank half a liter of chocolate milk. The snack break gave me more than enough calories to keep going.
Shelter from the rain in Barcelona.
1.5 hours later, I made it to Saarbrücken, where I made a stop at a restaurant and ate a tarte flambée. I had another large one for dessert. They were both very tasty.
Now I'm energized again. The weather is still amazing. Let's continue.
Let's do a short quiz. How many people live in Germany? Is it 68, 74, 81 or 84 million people? I give you 10 seconds to choose an answer. My guess was C. The correct answer is D. With a population of 84 million people, Germany is the biggest country I visited on my trip. Currently, it's the most populous country in the European Union. Since my French is not that good, it was nice to be able to finally speak German again. However, unfortunately, it was only a very short stay in Germany. Between some of these clips, I had crossed the border into France again. The first thing that awaited me was of course a canal.
So, 110 kilometers, 6 hours. Found another beautiful spot for the night. Today was an absolutely beautiful day, especially the last part was stunning. I'm really hungry now, so let's cook some dinner.
I was always very happy when I had sunshine to dry my tent. For dinner I ate some ramen, not extremely healthy but very tasty. Like the day before, the sunset was absolutely stunning and I made sure to go to bed early.
Good morning. Today might be the last day with such amazing weather, and tonight I will sleep in a hostel. I'm really looking forward to that.
I already had sunshine early in the morning. For breakfast I ate a few nuts with wine berries, followed by some bread with chocolate. Then it was time to start cycling. I had been on this trip for almost 3 weeks. My luck with the weather had been incredible so far. According to the weather forecast, this was supposed to be the last beautiful day before it got cloudy. So I made sure to enjoy my ride to Strasbourg, where I had booked a hostel for the night.
Like a humming in a tune. There's always something around the corner, something more to be found. And I'm sure the coast of California are beautiful right now.
In one of the small villages, I made a stop at the bakery. As you can see, I ate some really tasty sweets. On the terrace, I chatted with Laurent and Matthias. It was very nice to have some social interaction. They were both doing the Hexa Trek, a 3,000-kilometer hike through France. Laurent said that about half the people who attempt the hike are unable to complete it. I was definitely not surprised about that. I really hoped that both Laurent and Matthias would succeed. It was already time for the lunch break. I ate 2 pieces of quiche and a pain au chocolat. I sat on a bench right next to a canal. The view was very nice.
I'm quite full now. So far I ate way too much today, but at least I have more than enough energy to continue.
In the afternoon I cycled along the canal to Strasbourg, which was only about 40 kilometers away. Once again, it was really relaxing to cycle along a canal. Since it was very flat, I was able to cover a lot of distance in a short period of time.
Shine so bright, but to tell you the truth, I just wanna call home to you. Honey, I just wanna call home.
Made it to Strasbourg. I'm now right in front of the hostel. I'm really looking forward to a comfortable bed this night.
After the check-in, I went to my room and took a shower. Afterwards, I went out to explore the city. I had a good first impression of Strasbourg. After I'd walked for a few minutes, I came across a muffin factory and couldn't resist. It was a really tasty snack. Then I explored the city further. I always like to walk instead of using public transport. The cathedral was stunning. That must have been a lot of effort to build. Also, the clouds were beautiful. Strasbourg is not as impressive as, for example, Paris, but it's also a really nice city. It was already time to eat dinner. The starter was an onion soup, which I think I ate for the first time in my entire life. The main dish was a steak with potatoes. It was probably the best meal of the whole trip. Last but not least, I ate a lava cake with vanilla sauce and ice cream, which was also very tasty. After dinner, I returned to the hostel. When I arrived, I saw that my tent and some of my other stuff had been stolen.
I'm so pissed off right now. I can't believe that this just happened. But I guess I will go to sleep now.
The next morning, it was a really weird feeling to see my bike without a handlebar bag and tent. My bike suddenly looked very different. The first thing I did was to go to the police. This was necessary for the insurance. As you can see, I was not amused about the situation. After waiting for about an hour, I finally had the document I needed. Since I didn't have a tent anymore, I decided to go back to Switzerland by train. After cycling for 3 weeks, it was a strange feeling to move so fast and watch the landscape fly by. It took only about 1.5 hours to get from Strasbourg to Basel. When I was in Basel, it was weird to hear people speaking Swiss German again. In the meantime, I had really gotten used to French. I decided to change to another train to Luxemburg and cycle the remaining 50 kilometers from there.
So, I'm back in Switzerland. I'm quite mad at myself that I was so naive. That was really dumb. And also after last year, I was really hoping to be able to finish this trip without any major issues. And now this happened. That's a bummer. Right now I just feel very weird.
Last year I had to cancel my bikepacking tour because I had caught a virus. On this trip I was very confident that it goes more or less smoothly. It was a bummer that it had to end in such a way. The day before I only took my side bags off the bike. It was really stupid that I didn't take everything with me. However, overall it was still a very nice trip and I would definitely do it again. Next time I would take it more chill though. Most of the time I was in a bit of a hurry. So maybe on my next trip I will ride 70 instead of 90 kilometers per day. Less is sometimes more.
Now that I'm riding my bike and I'm not in the train anymore, I already feel much better. I would say let's do one last time lapse for the remaining 10 kilometers. Wow, I made it. I think I did 1,600 kilometers in exactly 3 weeks and I didn't get wet once. So I was extremely lucky with the weather and overall it was just so much fun. But now I definitely need some time to process all of this. Consider to subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it and hopefully I will see you in the next one.